Okay, hi. This video is going to be for both Amber and Teresa. Um, so either the sinus headaches or the migraine headaches um, can be related to very similar aspects. And similarly to what Lisa was talking about, um, we're going to deal with, kind of the energetic component, the emotional component. And then possibly, like what your guides are trying to bring to you, whether it's a simple lesson in energy management, which can equate to emotional management, right? Energy is emotion, emotion is energy. And then dealing with, third eye, crown chakra, throat chakra, multiple, in Ayurvedic medicine, they talk about marma points, here, right? So there's a few different things going on, a lot of stuff going on with the head. So, intellectual consciousness, physical consciousness that we're dealing with here. So a very brief and quick rundown of the myofascial process and the myofascial network, meaning the connective tissue, right, from skin to muscle to bone to ligaments and tendons, all through this area. They say that the myofascial network is part of the kind of the conscious root where consciousness roots to the physical body, is a very generic term, I guess. So just again, really quickly, I'm trying to give you a brief rundown of a very elaborate concept and system, right? So let's start with what you're looking for and what you're going to work with. So I'm going to work here because I'm guessing a lot of the migraine stuff and sinus stuff is going to be here. But if it's sinuses here, the same process can be done. But you're looking for where the skin is stretching and then where it comes to a halt, right? So you can kind of see it here because you can see my forehead wrinkle, and then it kind of comes to a halt. My fingers don't slide, but I engage the skin, the tissue, till that stopping point. The stopping point is called the collagenous barrier. That's where the collagen engages and says this tissue is not going to move any further. We're going to keep it from being injured. That's occurring throughout your body every day. Every time you take a step upon the ground, every time you move your arm, turn your head, all that. The collagenous barrier is that point where the body says, okay, this range of motion is far enough, and we're going to keep you from being injured. So here you can see the skin kind of folding, but it comes to a halt. If I pull this way, same thing, I get to that collagenous barrier. If I pull a little bit more, then my fingers begin to slide, upward, downward. So what you're looking for is if it feels like in any of these, so east, west, north, south, if any of these directions feel more tight than the others, like I get a half-inch movement here, a half-inch movement here, a quarter-inch of movement here, half-inch movement here. So I'm going to start where the most restricted area is. So like that quarter-inch of movement here till I get to that from starting point till it stops. If that's the restricted area, that's where I'm going to hold. So I'm going to raise up, and again, I'm going to do this just so you can kind of see the folds of my forehead, but I'm going to hold this, gentle pressure. The only amount of pressure that I'm using is just enough so my fingers don't slide across the skin. And we're holding into this collagenous barrier. And we want to do this for at least 90 to 120 seconds. That's when we'll see the very beginning of this myofascial release. And that's when it'll start to happen. And now the other aspects of this, right, we're feeling into this area. I'm going to take some deep breaths because this is a breathing exercise, a feeling exercise, as well as this physical manipulation of the tissue exercise, right? Like we're combining all of these. So as I breathe into this area, as I breathe into the pressure, and I breathe into that tension that I feel in my forehead, I, take that mental note of my emotional state. Deep breath in, connect to the body, feel what's there without judgment, without trying to fix anything yet. It's only a meditation of awareness. We want to bring our awareness to this point upon the body and feel what's there, breathing into it. Right? Breath is that life force energy. So we're breathing into this area, bringing awareness into this area. And in this energetic process, in this emotional process, and like Lisa says, what our guides are trying to teach us. This is a meditation in working with your physical consciousness that we tend to overlook. We're very intellectually oriented. We talk about these things and we now I'm stuck on a statement. But instead of just talking about these things, we're bringing awareness there, and we're working with the physical component, the emotional component, that breath component. All of those are going to help to process whatever is going on, whether it be energetic, emotional, higher self, working with your guides and bringing energy down. All these things can be facilitated with this process. So again, I'm going to go over the very basic physical aspects of it. Right, we're working with that collagenous barrier, and you can do that, the collagenous barrier, and you can do that on your arms, your shoulders, neck, basically anywhere that you can reach with your hand, back of the neck where we get a lot of tension, right? Just kind of place the hand, bring that skin to a stretch until it halts, and then just sit with that. And you're just sitting with that sensation, sitting with breath, breathing into this area, bringing awareness to this area. I'm going to do that for 90 to 120 seconds. And you should feel that tissue soften a little bit underneath your fingertips. Beyond the 90 to 120 seconds, you can do this for 5 minutes. And it's just a little bit more of a stretch, a little bit more of that tissue elongating, a little bit more of that tissue softening is what you should expect to see. And it's not always going to be dramatic. It could be very minute. But when that tissue is bound up around nerve endings and when that tissue is bound up around blood vessels, even just a very minute release can be greatly beneficial. And again, there's the energetic component, the emotional component, tapping into that physical awareness, that physical consciousness, and not just the intellectual consciousness that tends to distract us. These are part and parcel of this exercise as a whole. If you have any questions, you can message me as well. There's a lot of stuff that I didn't really cover, so hopefully some of this makes sense. Hopefully this can help with sinuses and migraine stuff. And then you can incorporate this into even like the beginnings of a meditation, like tapping into like, okay, wait, before I sit down to meditate, this spot's been really bothering me. Work with that physical awareness, that physical consciousness, and try to help bring alignment of all the senses and all those energies, and that might help flow into a better meditation. Again, thank you. Have a good night.